All right, let's talk about something a little different today. We're going to dive into a pretty unique project that's been making some noise over on the Solana blockchain. It's called $MG Maji Coin. And honestly, its whole vibe is a departure from the usual crypto hype. So let's get into it and see what's really going on. A revolutionary new token built on a cutting-edge blockchain poised to disrupt the entire Web3 ecosystem. You've heard this one before, right? The next big thing, a community-driven powerhouse that's going to change the world as we know it. Okay, so if you've been around the block in crypto, that sales pitch is, well, it's everywhere. But here's the kicker, and this is what's really interesting. The project itself calls this out, right in their own documents, saying, sound familiar? Let's get real, fam. And that self-awareness, that's really our jumping-off point. So if it's not that, then what is it? Well, the entire philosophy seems to be about throwing all those empty buzzwords right out the window. What's left is this unfiltered, totally community-first approach, where the main goal is genuine connection and, just having a good time. So what is this thing, really? At its core, MG Maji Gcoin is a community token on Solana. It didn't start with some grand, world-changing mission. Nope, it literally started as a meme, just a fun nod to the kind of ridiculous humor you'd get from Ali G or Tenacious D. But from that silly start, it's actually grown into something way more structured. And you can't really understand this project without talking about its founder. In a world full of anonymous devs and shadowy teams, the person behind MGA is fully doxxed. Her identity is public, which is a massive deal for trust. So let's meet Maji. And when you look at her background, wow, it is seriously deep. We're not just talking about being in Web3 since 2016. We're talking a 23-year career in game development, 3D modeling, working with huge names like IMVU and Electronic Arts, all while doing advanced studies with places like Harvard and Stanford. The big takeaway here is pretty clear. This is not some random person who just showed up for a bull run. But then, and this is the part I love, you get this quote. After that absolutely stacked resume, Maji just describes herself as just a gamer mom in her dirty 30s. And that contrast is everything. It perfectly sums up the project's vibe. High-level skill meets a super down-to-earth real-world personality. Okay, and this is a really important point we need to clear up, because the sources are specific about this. There are two different things going on. Over here, you have Maji Games, which is an indie game dev group. It's all open source, no token, no investors. Then over here, you have MG Maji Gcoin. That's the Solana meme coin project that's run by the community and has all the token stuff. They're connected by the founder, for sure, but they are separate projects. So now that we've got that straight, let's really dig into the MG project itself. Because the way it was funded and built, well, that's where things get really, really different from the norm. And this slide right here, this is the soul of the project. It launched with 0 tokens set aside for the team. 0. Maji and her partner funded it themselves, buying in on the open market just like anybody else. And the sources make it super clear she's not some rich venture capitalist. She lives in a travel trailer and works freelance, putting what she can back into the project. This whole setup creates a culture where the community genuinely runs the show, voting on everything, trying to get back to that old-school OG feel of Web3. So as you can imagine, a foundation like that creates a pretty distinct culture. So what's it actually like to be a part of the MMG community? Well, it's described as totally unfiltered with a no snowflake policy, but it's all built on that core idea of everyone having a say. The heart of the community is their token-gated Discord. Get in, and you get a role based on how many tokens you hold. And yeah, you're reading those role names right. Big ballers, cum rockets, titty twisters, these were all voted on by the community, and they perfectly capture that irreverent, adults only, just for laughs vibe. It is definitely not your standard corporate-friendly Discord server. But it's not just about getting a wild name in Discord, right? The whole idea is that holding the token is supposed to be your access pass. It unlocks a whole ecosystem of things to do. So beyond just hoping the price goes up, why would you actually want to hold MG? Well, the list of actual utilities is pretty long. You get access to that 18+ Discord, of course, plus these cool customizable AI bots. But then there's actual gameplay, like weekly quests with crypto and NFT prizes, and even an exclusive Minecraft server with hidden rewards. Throw in regular stuff like poker night and a special crypto club for sharing tips. And you've got a whole world designed to keep people active and engaged. So where is all this going? What's the long-term vision? Well, forget about a typical roadmap with a boring checklist of promises. The project's entire future is explained using a single, really powerful metaphor that kind of ties it all together. And there it is. The entire plan is visualized as one big tree. It's a really simple but kind of brilliant way to show how they think about growth, organically, from the ground up. So here's how that tree breaks down. The roots, that's the holders, the community. The whole thing starts there, that's the foundation. The trunk is the project's core structure, how it all works. The branches are all the collaborations they're building, reaching out to other projects in Web3. And the leaves? That's the new life, the shared growth and benefits that come from all those partnerships. The ultimate goal here is for MG to become a launchpad, using its strong community roots to help other cool projects get off the ground. And what better way to sum it all up than with their official tagline, which just perfectly captures the whole ethos of the project. Join the journey, just don't forget to bring that safe word. It's edgy, it's funny, and it lets you know exactly what you're signing up for. And this whole thing brings us to a bigger idea. We've seen so many crypto projects launch with millions in VC money and super slick marketing only to completely fall flat. MCMG is a totally different model. It's messy, it's authentic, and it's 100% owned by its members from the very first day. And that leaves us with the big question, right? Is this unfiltered, truly community-run approach the real future of Web3? That's something the space is going to have to figure out. Thanks for tuning in.